Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's episode 68 of the Seezus show. It's
It is.
2020.
It is.
And it's a new decade, mark of a new era, first episode of the new year. I'm extremely excited to, deliver some new content for the year. Slight week that's been going on in NBA.
Yeah.
And I just want to greet you guys and hope you guys enjoy this episode that's up and coming. So just to rehash last episode, in 2019. It was Manny and I, and it was episode 67. We discussed several topics. LeBron versus Giannis. Has Giannis, taking the crown from LeBron James or the Rockets being a legit title contender? KG and Bron's beef, Hall of Fame nominations. IT getting suspended for going at it with the fan. Christmas Day predictions and much, much more. But without further ado, it's the new year, so you got to kick it off right. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, make some noise for my co-host, my boy, Trey Day XXIV.
You already know what's going on. What's up, peoples? How's everybody doing? I hope you brought the new year in with a bang, and I hope your year is off to a really good start. Because we're doing a lot of stuff, a lot of growth in 2020, a lot of hot stuff. So I hope you got the same kind of mindset, and I hope you are safe, healthy, and flourishing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And one thing I want to ask you, it's 2020, new decade.
Okay.
What are some? You don't have to be
Specific.
You don't have to be specific,
Okay.
but I guess generalizing things. What are some of your New Year's resolutions?
I want to attack the pressure and understand the progress and the pressure. You know what I'm saying? Not that it's a resolution, but you want to double down on some things. You want to emphasize some things. So definitely with that, there's a lot of things I want to do, a lot of hats that I want to wear, and I want to be able to do it organically. I want to be able to do that, from the start to finish, for myself if I have to, but at the same time bringing in other people to help. And I want to learn and keep learning and figure out new ways to learn and how I learn, understand the self. Nigga self know your worth. So hey, you already know.
I like that.
What about you?
Man. So my only resolution is to cut my hair. I'm kidding.
Cut my hair.
As you guys can see, the curls are gone.
Sheesh.
Got the fresh cut.
Sheesh. It looks good.
I
It looks
like
good.
it. I
It
like
looks
it.
good.
I like it. I didn't try to make it too low. I wanted a little
Yeah.
bit of hair there, but it's nice. I've been wearing a do rag every now and then.
Okay.
I was
Your hair's
trying
curly,
to.
it seems like.
it curled too fast. Like I literally cut it last week again,
Oh.
and
What products are you using?
I don't use anything. I just
Wow.
shampoo, conditioner.
Wow.
And then the curls back up. Maybe I'll share my secret with you. I'm kidding. I don't use anything. I don't use anything. But I've been using do-rags pretty dope. But not to sidetrack. 2020, man. With time, what I've realized over these past couple of years, just this past decade, is
Okay.
time is all relevant. You know what I'm saying? We're only ever living in the moment.
Yeah.
So you just got to attack it on a day-by-day basis. So what I want to do is just continue to be consistent, continue to remain passionate, continue to help others, or at least help steer them in the right direction, right path,
Talk to
or
'em.
give them input, give them advice, or whatever.
Talk to 'em.
And like you said, just constantly learn.
Talk to him.
We were talking, a couple episodes before with LeBron James Calm app. We said it's mind over matter.
I
every
saw you
day.
got it. Your brother got it for you?
My brother got it
Tough.
for me for
Shout out-
Christmas.
shout out Big
yeah,
Bro.
Yeah,
Shout out.
yeah. Shout out to Big Bro. I've been using it. I haven't used it in the last like 2-3 days, but
Okay.
every other day. I mean, every single day. Like I've been using it.
What's your favorite feature?
Probably for anxiety, like performance anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, I already told you like some stuff I'm doing outside of this, but
Mhm.
performance anxiety definitely helps. Breathing exercises, and then sometimes I use it for reading. So I like listen to the sound of rain. It's pretty soothing, pretty calming. And then
course.
at nighttime, they have this one feature where you go on the app. You can listen to different like bedtime stories, and there's like special guests as well too, like so some well-known actors or like
Doing, like-
spokespeople or whatever, and they're just telling you different stories. So the one lady from Black Panther, like the bald lady, I can't remember her name.
Yeah.
She had like some African stories she was talking about, and the stories be like 34 to 40 minutes, but
That's
literally
tough.
you fall asleep within like 10 minutes, just
That's
like
tough.
that. So I wake up, I'm like, yo, what the hell? And then like the whole time, since I'm falling asleep so fast, I feel like I'm more rejuvenated in the morning. You know what I'm saying? So I know I was kind of a hypocrite, and saying it's kind of expensive, but if you get it as a present,
Well worth it.
it's good. And I think if you stretch it out in 12 months, is what like $5-6 a month. So
Yeah.
I think it's a good investment. And honestly, what you should do is try the 7-day free trial. and see what you get out of it. You know, I had some people who reached out to me and said, "Yo, I actually use this for my anxiety for this and this and that," and that's kind of cool as well too. So, shout out to LeBron James. Shout out to the Calm app.
That's awesome.
And you know, yeah, that those were my 2020 or my 2020 resolutions, just to be consistent in all aspects, learn, love, laugh. I mean, that's pretty
Everything
much
on
it.
Pinterest. Everything on
Pinterest, man. Everything on Pinterest. But without further ado, let's get into the latest topic. So, former commissioner, just passed away. So I just wanted to, just say rest in paradise. Like we said, we touched on it. He definitely did a lot for the NBA as well too. And I'm pretty sure I took a screenshot of something with him to, not necessarily commemorate him, but show the growth that he, had going on within the NBA. Let me just try to find that joint. Been taking a lot of pictures and screenshots. Where are you, Commissioner? Where are you? Hold up. Was it this one? Okay, yeah. So right here. So his impact on the NBA. So in 1984, I think that's when he came to be the commissioner, and the league revenue was $165 million. And in 2013, his last year, it went from $165 million to $5.5 billion.
Ridiculous.
There were 23 franchises in 1984, and then by 2013, it expanded to 30 teams. Average attendance in 1984 was 10,620, and then he expanded that to 17,269. And then the annual TV deal went from $28.5 million all the way to $937 million. So safe to say that his legacy will always be remembered, and it can only go up from here. So like I said, rest in paradise, man.
Putting in work, definitely.
So the first actual topic I want to talk about is Zion's injury update.
Okay.
So the top pick from the 2019, I'll play highlights by the way, 2019 NBA draft, is getting closer and closer to his professional debut. Obviously he underwent some surgery to, repair that torn lateral meniscus, from the season start. So he missed, basically every game, but played damn near all the preseason games as well, too. So we got to see a little glimpse of what he's capable of if he's on the floor. And, he's going to spark a lot of energy, a lot of positivity towards this team moving forward. So a couple of days ago, I believe on Thursday morning, he went through his first full practice with the Pelicans. And they're very hopeful that he's going to make his professional debut within the month of January. So obviously January just started. We don't know if it's going to be next week, the week after that, the last day of January. But January is looking like it's promising right now. So a couple of the media members got a hold of him, and he was saying, it was a great experience to practice full contact. I'm glad to be out there. And he said, if it was up to me, I would have been out there 2 weeks ago or something. But it was good to get back out there. It's been hard balance because I'm 19. So, you're anxious. You want to get in there. You're a young boy. You think you're, pretty much untouchable, indestructible, or whatever. But from a professional standpoint, he does have to look at the longevity. So that definitely makes sense as well, too. So obviously before the Pelicans lost to the Lakers Friday night, they're on a 4-game win streak. And right now they stand at 11-23, I believe. But, they have a bright future ahead of them. So my question for you is it safe for him to come back, knowing that he just, tore his meniscus a couple months ago before the season started, just had surgery. Obviously, it seems fully repaired. And we already talked about, if you get surgery as opposed to, snipping it off, yada, yada, yada. Yeah. So what are your thoughts on all that? And knowing that he's the number one pick and he's probably going to be the cornerstone of this franchise for years to come.
I think in this juncture, if he is Zion Williamson that he was in the preseason and at Duke, and you see that, and there's no doubt in your mind, cool, because it's a good chance for him to play, for him to, get out there on the floor, get his NBA first few games, regular season games underway against competitive teams that are probably going to be looking to get those wins, those ones against the Pelicans, maybe not because they're so deep down in the Western Conference standings. It's not going to mean much as far as, standings go, but they're going to try to build a resume, keep getting wins against the Pelicans. So they'll could probably get a lot of teams' best efforts. And I believe Zion playing is really important. Not super important, but important enough to where if he can play, he needs to be on the floor. At first, if it had been like another scenario where the injury wasn't or was more severe, then sit him out. But he wanted to play 2 weeks ago. He probably could have played 2 weeks ago. I think the timeline has been good. Again, if he's the Zion of old, let him rock. So, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he looked like he gained a lot of weight. He looked like he gained a lot of weight, and the way he just moving, maybe because I just haven't seen him in a while, and that's how it is. But just the way he be moving sometimes looks.
He moves like a football player, but we know that until he jumps. So like he doesn't look like a basketball player until he starts moving.
And they already said with this man is that he's gonna they're trying to get him to walk differently. You remember that?
Yeah.
They said they're trying to get him to walk and
He
run
waddles.
differently. Yeah. So I mean, he said he's been, when you get injured like that as well too, they kind of tell you what you've been overcompensating.
Yeah.
And they strengthen those weak areas. So I mean, like you say, if he's healthy, then go out there. The whole world wants to see him. So we'll see what happens. I just hope he's healthy.
I hope he's healthy too, because it will rob the game of basketball.
I know
of a once in a generational player.
We literally like this preseason. Everyone was saying, "Oh, he's the next since Bron." I was looking like Luka's the next up.
Dude's 19, dude. 19.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy. He could sit 2 seasons and still play another 20 years. I mean, God willing, but he's 19. That's crazy to me. And he's a ridiculous athlete, pretty good basketball player, and only going to get better. So I'm hoping we see him soon.
For sure. So Zion, get back because I want to go to a Pelicans versus Wizards game.
That would be hot. That would be hot.
That'll be very, very fire. So we'll see what's good with that. Next topic I want to talk about is Kevin Love's frustration on the court.
I hate it here.
So obviously you guys know Kevin Love was, went to UCLA, was drafted by the Minnesota Timberwolves, was a walking 30 and 10 type of guy. I think he's one of the few who had 30 and 30 before in his career, and all-star caliber player. When LeBron James came back to Cleveland after departure from Miami, he, said, Wiggins, get the hell out of here. Come in, Kevin Love. We got this young talent. Let's get it done. Went to 4 straight finals with LeBron James, won a championship as well, and then he signed a 5-year extension, I think, on LeBron James last year in Cleveland. So he's pretty much, in a shithole. Even though he's getting paid, he's in a shithole right now.
Yeah.
And
like he just wants to win at this point in his career.
Yeah, and what's Cleveland's overall right now?
Shoot.
I don't even think they won over 10 games. I think Cleveland's overall. Let me check that joint real quick, man.
Are they gonna win 20 games this year?
No.
Sheesh.
They're 10-25, so they're on pace to probably not win 20 games. But they are, besides the Atlanta Hawks and the New York Knicks, they're pretty much dead last right now. So, according to ESPN, Cavaliers star Kevin Love showed his frustration several times on the court during Saturday night's 121-106 loss to OKC Thunder.
He was walking around.
But afterward, he denied having any problems with his teammates. So Love, who has been subject of trade speculation all season, became annoyed late in the second quarter when Colin Sexton didn't throw him the ball as he was getting positioned in the lane. The veteran threw his arms in the air and slowly walked through Sexton at the top of the key. And then after getting the ball, he basically just threw that joint to Osmond. And Osmond just had to throw that joint up. And then after the game, I guess he said, we were making a play call. Love said we were in the bonus, and Chris Paul was on me. So I felt swing it to me and try to throw it on the post to see if they double team, and then I can get a good shot out of that. That's not what we did, and I was frustrated. Then on IG, he basically posted a couple pictures with his young bull saying a lot of non-truths being shared, but I've learned that we live in a world where people remember accusations and not rebuttals. Let them paint whatever picture they want. Fact is, I love my teammates. Then they said Cavaliers coach John Balin took blame for the play call as the clock was winding down, but said he doesn't want his players to show frustration on the court. If I do it, if anyone does it, it really doesn't matter. Or it really doesn't make you a better player or a better coach at that time. Bill said, it's like carrying a suitcase around with you that you have extra baggage. We don't need that. So, as it's pointed out to me or I see it, we try to address it best we can. And then also, they said, let me see here. According to a report by The Athletic, Love yelled at Cavaliers GM Kobe Altman earlier Saturday about a recent fine. Citing anonymous sources, The Athletic said the incidents took place following the team's shoot-around, and Love was screaming in front of teammates, coaches, and front office staff going ape wall on these mother. The report in Athletic said Love was fined $1,000 for the outburst on the bench during Tuesday's game in Toronto, which he pounded the chair in frustration as he came off the court during a timeout. So Love's name has come here. 1,000 is nothing to him.
They would have found Jimmy Butler like 25.
25, right? Love's name has come up in trade talks as the rebuilding Cavaliers 10 and 25 are looking to the future. He is in the second year of a 4-year, $120 million contract extension. So obviously it's frustration because you are the star player. You did get paid, so then you got to do what you got to do. But there's that frustration because it's like, what direction are we in? Like, are we rebuilding? Because obviously we've been one of the worst teams since LeBron's left. We've drafted 2 first-round picks in Sexton and the other guy, I can't remember his name. But, like, what are we doing? I'm 31. I'm aging. I don't want to be part of this rebuild. I'm trying to win now. So you have that, and then you probably have the GMs and the owners talking to the coach saying, yo, do this and this and that, play this player this X amount of time. So it's just that weird space he's in right now. What happens from here?
I mean, in the start from the beginning, historically the Cavs have not been a good management team with their moves, from a let us reach our goal of winning the championship, aspiration that every team should have. LeBron came in, changed that because LeBron is a GM, coach, and a player. I mean, that's facts. Simple as that. Whether you like it or not. And it's odd because you signed Kevin Love to that kind of what's the max deal, right? 108 or whatever. And you're drafting these young guards. It's just unless you're gonna really trade them away, try to get something going, that's not something in a guard-driven league, little man league. Kevin's, of course, a stretch forward, and he can guard very well, but it's not going in the direction of when I say, yo, I'm going to sign my max player, Kevin Love. You're not really feeding that fire. You're going the opposite way. So you have opposing sides, you're contradicting yourself pretty much.
Yeah.
And if I could break down this post.
Yeah.
Okay. Kevin Love posted a lot of non-truths being shared, a.k.a. they're right. I hate these things. But I've learned that in the world we live in, where people remember accusations and not rebuttals, they're right. I want to leave. I want to get traded. Let them paint whatever picture they want because I want to get traded and get out of here. Fact is, I love my teammates. I hate these because they won't pass me the ball. I hate these. I want to be traded. That's what that post is saying.
That's a PR. His PR was like, yo, give me your phone. I got you this template.
Hey, Colin, real quick. Here's 1,000, all right? All right, act like you like me real quick.
Yeah, bro. So, with that being said, where does he go? Any team could use him right now, but
I mean, yeah, a lot of teams could use him. Who's going to take on the contract though? Who has the contract? Can somebody take on the contract?
Man, I don't even know at this point.
I just unless he would maybe not end up in the worst situation because this is the worst unless he just goes to the Hawks. But I think it would take a good GM that is ready to move around some pieces. Might have to give away a fan favorite, kind of like somebody off the bench. And maybe a draft pick. But if you're in contention and you can make the move for him, why not? It was rumors that he wanted to go to Portland a month ago.
Yeah.
Can that happen?
I mean, it could.
So he wants to get out. And I think it's the biggest thing is just get out the house. The house is on fire and nobody's doing anything to save the people in it. They're just sitting there. So
if you trade for him, are you going to make him a center or keep him at the stretch 4 position?
If I'm trading for him, I'm coming to him straight up and saying, hey, look, our team needs some help. You're probably going to play the stretch 4, but at the same time, I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to, one, accomplish your goal of getting out that trash situation that you're in, all right? Mm-hmm. So this first year, or this first, few before All-Star break, or, going down the stretch, we're just going to need you to, play the role, maybe come off the bench here and there. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, once we get going towards the playoffs, because you're going to solidify our playoff spot, we're going to be rolling coming down the stretch. Just be ready, because we're going to turn it up then. But please don't come in, looking for way too much. We're going to indoctrinate you into the society, but I'm going to do a few things. I'm going to have you on a better team. We're going to feed you. You're going to get your shots off, and we're going to get you out of that crap situation. So that's what I would say. That would be my selling point if we could get him in there. And I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to deal these pieces. Hopefully you'll be happy at the end of the year. And if not, you got, 2 years on your contract left? You can ride out sunshine with whoever,
Yeah. I mean, like you said, at the end of the day, you got 2 years left, so he'll be all right.
He'll be all right.
He got money, man.
He's not staying in Cleveland for 2 more years, though.
Hell no.
He's trying the Jimmy Butler approach, and nobody's better at the Jimmy Butler approach than Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. Caleb had a little bit better defense, he would have been gone by now. Moving on from that, next topic I want to talk about is Isaiah Thomas, coming in contact with a referee.
He can't get a break, can he?
He can't get a break. He just came back, too, from injury, I think. So the Washington point guard, Isaiah Thomas, was ejected in the first quarter of the Wizards game against the Portland Trail Blazers on Friday night for making contact with an official. Thomas was tied up along the sideline by Portland's Carmelo Anthony with 10 minutes and 32 seconds left in the quarter. As he broke away from Anthony, he made contact with referee Marek Kogut, who stumbled into the crowd. And he was given a technical foul, then immediately rejected. The call was reviewed and upheld. The Wizards went on to lose 122-103. And then they said he made physical contact with the referee. It was definitely just a push during the dead ball, contact with the referee. And then Thomas said, I didn't really pay much attention to the contact. And I was standing right there. I thought he just fell. No, that's what Damian Lillard said. Okay. I thought he just fell into him, and that was it. They reviewed it, and they kind of stood their ground. So I guess what they thought happened. But do you think it was fair for him to be ejected from the game?
Of course, he's a bully. No, I'm playing. He's terrible. No, you got to look at it in context. I mean, I know refs have the code of conduct, but at the same time, there's some calls you have to be human about. And the only thing that would probably get him in trouble for my way that I think the refs should have went about it would probably be uniformity. And if, something happened like that, then they wouldn't go to each player and just talk to him about it. But it's like, oh, bro, are you good? I'll be like, you good? What's up? Not in the, me just trying to have a full-on conversation, but I would look at it, they're on the sideline. Everybody trying to keep their balance. I got pushed. Cool, get up. It's everything. All right. I call it, review it, or probably not call it, but I was like, yo, what happened here? Real quick. A millisecond. Nah,
he pushed him, bro.
He pushed him hard? All right, run it back.
Let's run it back.
He's frustrated to call. It's extension. Yeah.
He knew he fucked up.
He's got to go. He had a. All right, so scratch all what I just said. He had a blank moment. He was frustrated about him getting tied up. He probably got grabbed a little bit, and then he kind of extended his arm with the ref. That's what happens when you touch an official.
Yeah.
That's what happens. I mean,
that could have definitely been prevented, but
there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
let's see one more time.
You live and learn. Yeah.
Don't put your hands on
it. Because he stepped. He got into him, and then he extended.
Yeah.
Come on, dog.
IT do better.
He had a blank moment. I understand, but ew. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the refs nowhere. He's near it, but he doesn't need to step into it. He's not losing his balance or anything. Mm-hmm. I thought it was something else, but nah, bruh. Stupid. That's stupid.
Stupid. Moving on to that, Kyrie Irving.
Kyrie.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
You want to be the what? The star player.
So, Kyrie finally, broke some silence since he got injured. So, according to New York, ESPN staff writer Malika Andrews As a shoulder injury threatens to spoil his debut season with the Brooklyn Nets, said Saturday. Brooklyn Nets Kyrie Irving said Saturday that surgery is not off the table, though he's hoping to avoid it. Speaking with reporters for the first time since initially injuring his right shoulder in mid-November, Irving was diagnosed with a shoulder impingement. Said he got a cortisone shot the day before Christmas in an attempt to postpone or eliminate the need for surgery. He said, "I'm in a better place now. That it has been a significant amount of time." Irvin said the next step in any progression was to either get a cortisone shot or to get surgery. That was the ultimatum I was fixed with. Now I'm just doing the best I can to live off this cortisone and move forward if I need surgery in the future. Irvin said he and the Nets medical team will reevaluate in a month or two whether arthroscopic surgery will be needed. Then he said the cortisone shot lasts as long as it can. You either continue to get cortisone shots, which is obviously detrimental to your health and your muscles, or you go to get an arthroscopic surgery. Irvin said, "For me, it's just about being able to go back out there right after the amount of rehab, the right amount of rest and recovery, and see what we can do for the rest of the season, and then reevaluate after a few months." So Irvin said he thought about undergoing surgery during the season with KD being out, and them and the Nets, hovering, being above 500, being 500, under 500. So he said it definitely crossed his mind as well, too. He said it just sucks. Irvin said it's really disheartening when you're working your tail off to be a certain level and your shooting shoulder just starts to give up on you a little bit as well, too. But, enough of, all these quotes and whatnot. It kind of just sucks because I'm thinking of Paul George now, and how Paul George is playing through injury last year as well too, and
now he looks elite.
Yeah, he got shoulder surgery and he looks elite. So, given Kyrie's track record being injured all the time, I would say
go get surgery.
If there's a detriment or a huge, what's that word I'm looking for? A huge side effect to the cortisone shots, and just don't do that. Just go get surgery.
Go get surgery. KD's out.
Out.
There's no need for you to be playing hero on a new team just yet. You have Kyrie is 27, 28 maybe, if that.
Yeah,
he might be 26, but you have another decade to run stuff. With KD by your side, who is a prime leading scorer and is trying to get right himself, bro. Take care of yourself. Get right. Kyrie's 27. You guys have another solid 5 to 6 years to run stuff. You just need to be healthy. You need to be playing the best basketball you can, And the East is not going to be super tough to break through as of right now, So come on now. Why not?
That's what I'm saying too. It's like
Giannis is going to leave if they don't win this year.
Maybe. We'll see.
They're first in the league. But if they this year, Giannis is out. And Golden State's
so
eyeing
basically,
him.
you bringing up Giannis leaving, saying that when the Nets are fully healthy, they can run the East if Giannis leaves the East.
There's more of a possibility, yes, for them to run the East without having to play Giannis.
Yeah, we gotta see where Giannis and all of them, how they end up and stuff. But not to sidetrack. With Kyrie, you're right, man. I wanted him to get immersed in that system. And it kind of sucks too because he is in one of the biggest outlets in media, which is New York. Yeah. And you kind of do see the small sample size of Kyrie with the team and without the team, so he kind of gets that bad rep as well too. Yeah. But hopefully he gets surgery. That way he can come back and be ready for training camp because Paul George got that joint in this offseason. Then he missed the first 12 games or whatnot. Yeah. So if I'm Kyrie, I'm just sitting it out and not adding any further damage to it because he was saying basically he wants to see where they're at and if they can make a playoff push, but you're not going to really go anywhere. Let's be honest.
Let's be real.
Obviously in his head he thinks he's one of the best players and he thinks he has what it takes to get them over the hump, but realistically, no.
Does he have to change his playing style?
I think he has to eventually change his playing style, but like we said a couple episodes ago, when KD comes back, everything goes away.
It goes away.
All the problems go away.
It goes away. So why, it's like it's going to be a new day, but you're over here acting like it's going to be doomsday today. So you're expending all your resources. You are a resource, Kyrie Irving.
And the thing is, from a talent perspective, we already know what him and KD bring to the table as well, too. So let this young talent continue to build, continue to grow, continue to get comfortable in that system. That way, you have some hitters you can rely on when you get back.
Like we said about LeBron, last year when they was watching this team. So his team being the Lakers, but they blew that up. But like we said, let them rock. You know what you can do, what you and KD do, and keep going, bro. Keep playing.
Keep going. Keep playing. So Andre Drummond has been on the trade block lately.
Lizzie.
So where is this topic at? There you go, cheesing, geeking.
So I'm out of here. Yep.
So basically, Andre Drummond's been in trade discussions as of late, and obviously Detroit Pistons aren't playing to the level where they're supposed to be playing at. Last year they were the 8th seed. Traded for Blake Griffin, made a little bit of noise as well too, and right now they are 11th and 13th and 13 and 23, behind the Chicago Bulls and the Charlotte Hornets, which is
a good place.
You got 2 All-Stars in Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond, and arguably 6th Man of the Year with D Rose, Dwayne Casey, who we've been raving on, and they're still not getting it done. So my whole thing is with him, he's a walking double-double, rebounding machine. I think it's just the Pistons aren't doing anything. Yeah. So I think it's just time to rock. But he, saying the politically correct answer, basically said, I'm not a quitter for one. I was never brought up to be a quitter. If I start somewhere, I try to finish there. Try to complete the mission, which is to win a championship. It will never be me that wants to go anywhere. I love being here. I would love to play here for the rest of my career. That's bullshit.
Get out of there.
And that kind of sounds like complacency as well, too.
Yeah, get out of there, bro.
Because he got paid. He's just like, yo, F it. Nah, bro, you know what the landscape's looking like.
Yeah.
Rock if you can.
Rock if you can.
Because you're a commodity. There's a lot of teams that need it big. Boston would do well with you. Miami would do well with you, like we just mentioned before we started recording as well, too. There's a couple of teams that are in need of a pretty legit big, even Dallas or something like that as well, too.
Very true.
So just try to force your way out, to be honest, because you guys probably won't make the playoffs. But you're in the East, so those last 2 to 3 seeds, you can have a losing record and still get there. But I just feel like with Detroit, they just need to clear the deck and just start over, to be honest. Trade Blake, trade Andre, get rid of D Rose. Just start fresh, man. What are your whole thoughts on this whole situation?
I'm not sure how crazy it's going to be to start super fresh. Thing is, it's going to force itself to start fresh because once they start their rebuilding process, other than like a D Rose or something like that, I don't think Blake's going to sit quiet. I don't think, and Andre Drummond is politically correct. And if he just wants to be complacent in the cornerstone, cool. But being a big man, as we see with Kevin Love, he's a stretch big man. Andre Drummond's not a stretch big man. It's not easy playing with young guards, you know? And I don't have a formula for rebuilding, but you have to trade away some pieces. And Andre Drummond probably should be the first one on that ship out of there. Go ahead. Blake Griffin will soon follow in the coming years, I feel like, because he's not going to want to just ride his career out in a losing team either. You'll probably have to cash Dwayne Casey, even though he has been one of the best coaches in the league, but it's kind of off a feeling and an emotional thing once you start rebuilding like that. Yeah. So you're just trying to build new, and yeah, bro, it's tough to talk about. It's a losing team in the East, and it's a player that's been there for a while that could do well on other teams. So get out of there while you still can. Why not?
Facts. It's kind of like, one of your boys is going through it and he just keeps confiding in you, and after a while you just get tired of it, bro. Like, bro, I can only give you but so much advice. It's time to move on
because it's your fault, probably.
Your
fault,
man.
What's the Lauryn Hill joint, the X Factor joint? She's like what? She said, we keep doing this, but it's not working. You know what I'm saying? It's not working.
It ain't worth it. But, yeah, Andre Drummond, we'll see what's good with you. Detroit Pistons, I don't know, man. I feel bad for D Rose. Like, any other team could use him off the bench right now.
Facts.
Like, on some Lou Will type stuff. And he can close. He can still close.
What's his contract?
I think he's got 2-year, $8 million or something like that, or $16 million.
They need to pay that man, because D Rose is what, late 20s maybe?
Yeah.
Can we get D
No,
Rose?
he's 30 now.
Oh, he's 30 now. Huh?
Time flies. New decade.
He can play another. I'm not even gonna put the time limit on D Rose because he's came back from way worse. But whatever.
Facts. 76ers are 6th in the East, 23-14, on a 4-game losing streak as well too. After they lost to Houston, which was crazy. Basically, Joel Embiid came out and said, "Losing 4 in a row sucks, and it doesn't feel like we're getting better. So it's frustrating. I care about winning. It's taking a toll on me. All I care about is winning. It sucks. We got to find a way. I guess we've got to keep fighting." It's just crazy because like it was literally just Christmas and they literally just waxed the best team in the NBA.
It was all good just a week ago.
Well. So it was all good just a week ago, and now you complaining like. I don't know what's good with the 76ers. I feel like we always bring these motherfuckers up all the time. It's like we either fall in love with them, we either criticizing Ben Simmons, we either criticizing Joel Embiid's mentality on the court. Like, what is it with this team? Are they fools gold? Are they going to turn around? Granted, they're 5th in the East. They're only a couple games behind, the 4th and 3rd seed and whatnot. But it's just like, what do you think has to happen? Obviously, obviously, there's going to be those times where teams get on that slight losing streak. It's not like they were getting blown out by these teams. It's just poor execution down the stretch. And
we love toxic relationships.
That's
all we know.
But what do you think it is with them? Like that?
Ben Simmons won't shoot for spacing purposes. I don't know. Like if he let a few more fly for spacing purposes. I know we talk about this all the time, and that's why it's tiresome to talk about. And the thing is, they did lose in one of these losing streaks to cornroll James Harden, who might be the closest thing to Black Jesus we've seen in the league since Michael Jordan. But. I think we're not gonna be talking about this in another week or so because they find a way to get in this again. We always say, "Oh, the 76ers look bad. They're gonna win 3 or 4 games. It's gonna replace it. We're not gonna be thinking about Ben Simmons not shooting and only maybe having a float game." And it's mundane to me. I think they're fine. They're gonna get into the playoffs. They're gonna lose gut wrenchingly like they always lose, and Joel Embiid's gonna cry about it. Or they could turn the corner. But to me, that has been in this relationship with them for the past 2 years. They're gonna lose, and Joel Embiid's gonna cry, and Ben Simmons not gonna shoot.
Yeah, they just need. At this point, it's like Elton Brand might get fired. Like, even though he made some good moves last year, acquiring Jimmy Butler, getting Tobias Harris, pulling off that heist. You lost Jimmy Butler. You're 5th in the East. Everyone basically had these guys or crowned these guys before the season started as the conference favorites.
They look
over
good.
The Bucks.
They look good.
They look good. When they look good, they look good. But when they look bad, they look bad. But at the end of the day, I think it's going to come down to 2 things. One, I feel like they can, if they find a way to match up against the Bucks in the conference finals, I think they can beat the Bucks just because of their size. They proved that on Christmas. They obviously just won game, but I think so. 2 is like if they lose, we're gonna know why they lose. Why they're gonna lose in the playoffs.
Scary thing is, bro, I think Toronto's gonna upset somebody, and it might be them again.
No, honestly, Marc Gasol is the kryptonite to Joel Embiid. And Pascal Siakam still hasn't came back from injury. Norman Powell still hasn't came from injury, and they're the defending champs. So you got to give them credit where it's due, and they've been playoff tested already. So there's no doubt in my mind that Toronto cannot get to the conference finals. Only time will tell. And I love Nick Nurse as a coach, but with the 76ers, if they lose, we're gonna know because of the poor spacing that they have. Like you said, Ben Simmons' inability to shoot, you're clogging up the paint. And it's like, why you have 2 centers right now?
Yeah.
Instead of you sign Al Horford. I get it because he was Joel Embiid's other kryptonite as well too, and he has that veteran presence. But if you already got Joel Embiid, you can get a slight center who's a veterans minimum type of player, and then just get shooters around them.
Get a stretch
like how it was when they won 50 games and they kind of overachieved that one year on LeBron's last year in Cleveland.
Yeah. When
they went like 50 and 32. I think they got like the 3rd seed, and Cleveland got the 4th seed. Indiana got the 5th seed, and
they had a good shooting team.
They had Covington, Saric, Ilyasova, Marco Bellinelli, JJ Redick. Like that's what you should do. Like I would keep Tobias and then just get shooters. You don't really need Al Horford like that. It don't make no sense.
You don't.
It don't make no sense at all, bro.
Granted, Al Horford could hit a 3-point shot, but he's not going to be out there the whole time. Yeah, man. And then too, I just had a thought that say they do win the East. I don't know if it's going to be a convincing finals at all. I mean, you could say that for a lot of teams. I mean,
their size. One thing I do love
their size.
Is their size.
Their size.
That's one thing I do love.
So if they were like matched up with like a Lakers,
that would be that'd be a good matchup.
It would be decent. I think the Lakers would spread them out a little bit more. But yeah. That's all I got to say about that one. We look forward to seeing what happens with the 76ers. If they make some moves, doubt they'll make any moves, but see what happens.
Definitely, we'll see what happens. Portland is who I want to talk about next, just for a brief moment.
Rome is burning.
They are 15-21 in the West right now, and this is the former Western Conference Finals team. Obviously, they lost Ed Davis, Mo Harkless, Myers Leonard, and then there was a major injury to what's his name, Rodney Hood, and then Nurkic ain't back as well too. But you think with the two leaders that they have, and based off their success last year with acquiring Hassan Whiteside and obtaining Carmelo Anthony, they would be better than they are. I mean, right now they are the 8th seed, but that can change at any point in time because under them, San Antonio's 14-20, Phoenix 14-21, Memphis surprisingly 14-22, which they smacked the Clippers. I'm probably not going to talk about that. And Sacramento Kings are right there, so the 8th seed is going to be changing constantly. 1 through 7 is pretty much set in stone. Shots at OKC. I did not expect them to be 20-15 right now. You may have to consider Chris Paul as an all-star vote. We'll talk about that later. But with Portland, there's been trade rumors as well too with like CJ McCollum as well too. What do you do? Do you wait until you're fully healthy again, or do you try to make a trade? Do you try to reset? What do you do?
I don't think you can blow anything up right now for the Portland Trailblazers unless you really are trying to trade for Kevin Love. Boom, cool. I think that's great. But we're just realizing how important that supporting cast are in the league. Definitely from a Warriors standpoint. I know their superstars are down right now, but the biggest thing is it's just supporting cast. If it would have been last year and Livingston, Iguodala, and those guys were still around the Warriors, I think that they would still be, until their main guys came back, they would still be sitting around mid conference and not in the dirt. You know what I'm saying? So supporting cast is everything in the NBA, and we yada yada yada, the names, the duels, stuff like that. But the thing is, every time that a LeBron James team is made up, LeBron James focuses on those supporting cast. We're always really intrigued about who this team's going to get down to like the last player on that roster. Yeah. The Caruso, are they going to keep Josh Hart, or, they brought in Troy Daniels as a shooter and all that stuff like that. And teams should look at that and understand that, look, you can't just sign some people, or you can't just, think that we're going to rock with certain people. And I think if your supporting cast is good, but they're just kind of injured, then you should kind of wait it out a little bit. I'm sorry, like, you can't sacrifice the season, but right now it just looks like a lot of their supporting cast guys, they're good guys that support Dame and CJ, are just down. Carmelo has been a good little boost, but right now, unless you can make a solid move, it's tough. It's tough to say that we're gonna blow everything up, because we've seen these guys get to Western Conference Finals before, and they can do it again. They need maybe 1 or 2 more pieces, and maybe you lay some foundational things to like get over the hump when it's your time again, when everybody's healthy. But right now, it's tough to blow something up just because you had a flat tire.
Yeah, I agree with you. So many games they just let escape them.
Yeah, they let them slip.
They got to beat these washed teams. I mean, they're kind of washed themselves now, but you can't lose to the Knicks. You can't lose to Phoenix. You know what I'm saying? The Pelicans, teams that we don't really consider, playoff caliber teams. You got to get those dubs out. And it's kind of shocking, too, that Melo's been pretty consistent.
Solid.
Sometimes he's a little bit more consistent than CJ and Dame sometimes. A little bit.
They're sons of Carmelo
I guess because he hasn't played in a long time.
They're sons of Carmelo Anthony, bro. I wouldn't even say that. I wouldn't even say that.
So we know now that Melo isn't the problem.
He's not a problem.
And we know now that Melo should be in the league for at least 2 more years. So teams after the season over with, you can definitely utilize that man.
Yeah,
he's one of the best bucket getters.
Can rebound the ball.
Can rebound the ball, and his classic. Give me that shit.
Give me that. I got it.
So we'll see, but we'll keep a little tab on Portland moving forward. Like I said, they're the AC now, so they should get the AC when it's all said and done. Just win the easy games, beat up on the East. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens from there as well too.
Big facts.
Michael Porter Jr.
Young KD.
Young KD has been looking pretty good. On the season's averaging 6 points, 3 rebounds. Right now, PER 18.89, which is 52nd in the entire NBA, which is pretty good. But he's had a couple games where he's looked good. They're starting to give him. Well, it kind of fluctuates. So whenever he plays solid amount of minutes, he does well. So on December 28th against Memphis, he had 11 points in 19 minutes. Game after that, he played 26 minutes against Sacramento. He had 19 points, 6 rebounds, and then just as of late, on January the 2nd, he played 23 minutes and scored 25 points. So he's looking pretty good.
Solid 20 points a game.
Obviously, right now, the Nuggets have an identity. It's safe to say that.
Of course.
Right
the
now,
Nuggets are good.
Nuggets are good. Second seed right now in the entire Western Conference. So my thing with you is it just time to take the chains off on Michael Porter and just let him grow? Because my whole thing was like, I thought they weren't going to give him that many minutes, granted, because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
And also, you don't really want to mess up what you guys have been doing. So you don't want to, really mess up the chemistry. But
he's a baller, dog.
He's a baller, so why not, right? But what are your thoughts on him and, and the Nuggets?
I think he, shout out to their organization, one, for bringing him back the right way. And maybe it's speaking to the injury a bit to say that it's not one of those things that you can actually rush. Yeah. You really has to be good and all right to play again. Mm-hmm. But just with the rehab, with the the minutes, even though we would love to see him more, I think this is a good case study for teams that want to bring somebody back that can be a cornerstone in your franchise, but at the same time has a really tough injury that might take a while to come back from. Big thing is they were in a place that they could sit and wait because they've been second in 3 and 1 in the West for the last 2-3 years. They've been doing the damn thing. So they drafted a really good player at the right time, and they let him recover. They're monitoring his minutes, and he looks like a dog. We didn't see him in college. We barely saw him in the summer league, but dude is ridiculous because we already had, he looks like KD from a scoring standpoint. Dude really looks like him. I mean, he might not be as tall as him. He's like 6'9", 6'10", maybe. Mm-hmm. But Michael Porter Williams flows with the basketball. Did I say his name right?
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. Ooh. He flows with the basketball. He gets his shot off whenever he wants to. And a solid 20 points a game is going to make them hard to beat. So why not give him his experience? So when they are playing the Lakers and the Rockets and whoever down the stretch, they have somebody they can go to in case, because he's not the first option on their team, which is wild at 20. I mean, not wild, but at 20 points a game, he's not the first option. Yeah. So let's have this X factor over here. We got Jamal Murray, we got Joker, Michael Carter Williams as a swingman, and then all these other guys that's already playing well. We just have that extra 20 points sitting on the floor. So I think it's great. I think they really managed this well, and I think he's playing like a beast.
Yeah, and then with Paul Millsap aging, I think his contract's going to expire soon. They're probably going to move on from that, and then they're going to make him like the official 4. Yeah. And like you said, down the line, he's going to become their closer, him and Murray. Mark my words. And he's barely scratched the surface. Right now, he's just playing from his pure, raw talent. Once he gets defined and gets more skilled, it's a wrap.
Of course.
It's a wrap. The West is always elite. Last thing I want to talk about is the 2020 NBA All-Star voting. First returns released. Mavs, Luka, Doncic, and Bucks Antetokounmpo lead respective conferences in first fan returns of NBA All-Star voting presented by Google. So it really isn't a shock to me. They're both playing lights out. They're both foreign players, so NBA's become more of a global sport. So it makes sense that they're gonna. It's kind of weird. This is like the first time we got 2 international players who leading the way in respective conferences with all these votes. I was shocked that LeBron had less votes than Luka, but like I said, it's global now, so makes sense as well too. Other notable people from the West. LeBron had 1 million or just over 1 million votes. AD, then Kawhi, then PG, then Cat, and then Porzingis underneath him and guards. You had Luka, obviously, like I said first. He's a guard. It's just crazy.
Yeah.
So my thing is like, why isn't LeBron a guard if he's playing guard this year? I guess he's known for that.
Yeah.
Don't matter.
It's kind of like the election system here is like the popular vote and then the electoral vote. But keep going. I'm sorry.
Yeah. And then like they have Ben Simmons as a guard, but LeBron just got moved to the guard, so it just don't make sense.
Yeah.
I get to trying to find that balance.
Valid.
But it's pretty interesting. I'm going to monitor this because I think it's just 1/4, or I think it's half fans or 1/4 fans, and then the rest is media and coaches.
Okay.
So we'll see how it goes. I'm not really shocked on anything. Obviously, they trolled like a couple years ago. Zaza Pachulia had hella votes, but we already knew he won't go and get it. Yeah. And then I think they said Taco Fall got a good amount of votes as well too for the front court, number 6. But it's interesting. People I want to see this year, definitely Luka, definitely Spider as well too.
I would love to see Ja. Well, I know he's not gonna make it into the. He's gonna play in like with the rookie game maybe, but I would love to see Ja on the floor.
Yeah, I would love to see Porzingis up there as well too. We'll see. Melo will be hot.
Okay.
Why not? Guards, I wouldn't be shocked if Trae Young makes it now that Kyrie is uncertain right now.
I don't want to see Karl Anthony Towns.
Nah, I don't care.
I don't. I would rather see. I would rather see Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Brandon Ingram definitely deserves it this year. I would love to see Derrick Rose. He didn't get it last year, but he's been playing well. Like I said, we're so limited from the guard position in the East. Anything can happen. It'll be dope to see the Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum make it this year. They've been playing all-star level.
Jaylen Brown. Maybe not Jason Tatum. I would love to see D'Angelo.
Yeah. Pascal's definitely going to make it this year.
Of
so
course,
that's
Spicy.
Cool. Spicy P. But, I mean, overall, like, there's clearly more talent in the West.
Yeah.
So, like how we said the other day or a couple episodes ago, just break the fourth wall, so to say, and just get rid of the East and West and just have, the top 16 team make it to the playoffs. Why don't we just have the best 24 players do it? That would be hot.
Oh, yeah.
So, we'll keep monitoring that.
Break the wall.
Break the wall. Ladies and gentlemen, that was episode 68 of the Seezus Show. I hope you guys enjoyed this fun-filled episode. Make sure to subscribe on all forms of social media at Sir Seezus, at the Seezus Show, at Traded XXIV as well too. There's going to be much more episodes to come, so I'm excited for that. Any last words?
Don't be good. Be great. Ha ha.
I love that. We out.